See if I can do this with one hand. Okay, I'm gonna. Sorry, I don't have a. Alexa, turn off ball valve 2. Alexa, turn on ball valve 2. Alexa, turn on ball valve 2. Wow. If I get it hooked up with this, I got a water valve controlled by my phone. Nice. I had to use the tablet to video though. Funny how that is. Hi guys, Kim here, Papa's Fix-A-Chop, back with another one. This is another thing I'm doing. Summer times around here is hard in the shop. I mean, I can't afford to run the kind of air conditioner to keep this place cool. But so I tend to do less in here stuff. I'm working out in the yard. And I'm working on a sprinkler system with like misters and stuff. We grow a lot of plants in our little yard here. So let me see. And so I'm going to do a lot of this kind of stuff on this video. This is a Smart Valve, but there's no valve on it. It's actually designed to operate one of these, a ball valve. So this is a Wi-Fi controlled motorized device to open and close the ball valve. And essentially this guy, get this right, this guy sits about like this in there, and then these guys right here are actually what move the valve. There's a bracket that grabs this, and I'm using 1/2-inch soldered ball valves for my sprinklers out in the yard. There's no threads to seal or anything. It's just soldered on, you know. They're a little smaller in profile right here for that. Wait 1 second. I got another one over here. So here's another one I've been working on with the bracket attached. So the valve sits like this, right? And if you get the valve where it's parallel, so technically there's 2 shafts, and those 2 shafts, the one in the ball valve and the one in the motor, you want them as absolutely parallel as you can get them. And it involves this little guy right here. See, there's a little bracket. And if you notice with that valve in there, it doesn't even hit the bracket. So I am making some little collets out of aluminum tubing. And those little collets fit on there so that the valve will sit as it is. And when this is in there, there's actually a hose clamp goes around this to hold it on, right around here. So this is what I'm building. I'm going to set up 4 of these devices that I can use. I'm not going to mention the name of that stupid thing, but I can control it with voice, with an app, with a household app, or I can control it with my cell phone or set up a routine. More importantly, I'm going to try and set it up to where if the temperature gets a certain point in a couple areas of my backyard, it will turn on a misting system. So that's basically what it is. If I can mist water outside when I'm out in the hot, because here when the let's say it's 110 degrees and it's 15 or 20% humidity, you can get a lot of relief with a little mist in the air. The humidity gets higher, no chance. But something to do. Stay tuned. Couple of marks. Kind of hot right now. Okay, so let me try and explain this a little bit better. This is the guy that holds the valve, and it goes in like this, right? So I've got to put it like this and line up this axis. So I started out with a piece of aluminum. I figured out that I could get it up here and make a spacer, right? So here's the first one. And what I did is I bandsaw it out and bend it, and bandsaw it out and bend it until I got the exact size I needed. Then I measured the outside radius, or the radius across it. Start over, dumbass. I got the diameter that gave me the radius, and I could use those two dimensions to get the circumference of the outside diameter. And using that, I cut notches like this. So here's two, there's two left. I'll move you out. And one I already bent too. So these two are done. This one, like I said, I did by hand. This one I measured it and took basically 60 millimeters off. 60 millimeters? 6 millimeters, dumb. So now I got to bend these. So what I do, so you can get a picture of this. So I get a hold of it like this, and I kind of bend a little bit at a time. Now notice, this way I'm bending straight across, right? Now I've made an oval. So then I start going as close to the center of the back so that I'm going to bend this side only. These little ones I can do by hand, Bigger pipes, you got to do it with a vise or some kind of fixture. So what I'm doing is just slowly going around it, top and bottom. And then what I'm trying to do is close this gap. See, now it's stepped down a little bit from this side. Turn it around. There's a point where these guys will start running into each other. Okay, see the lip? I'll try and do the same one right here, and if it's so close that it hits the other side, it'll start wanting to push the other side away. Just like that. Look at there. So now I got a little gap. Does it fit? Oh, beautiful. This one is a little too tight now, so I can open it up a hair. For that, I gotta find my screwdriver. There it is. So watch this. Put this guy like this. Slide it down in there where it's gonna go over. Try the other side closer to the screwdriver. Okay. See? Now it's on there. What I'll do is I'm gonna take the TIG and weld the backside up where they just go on to these guys. And then when I'm done, I'll turn it over and I'll cut a half slot on the backside so it's kind of like a collet. And those sides I will go on to this nipple and the hose clamp will pinch it on there when I tighten it onto this bracket. So imagine something like this with a little weld over here and a hose clamp going around this guy. So that holds my thing. See? It just wants to sit there. It just wants to sit right where it belongs. Bueno. All right, cover your eyes. Pointing. Spot weld. That's the final weld. Now I'll just cut a slot on the other side and I got a little aluminum collet for my valve. Cool. Alexa, turn off ball valve 2. Alexa, open ball valve 2.
Ball valve 2 doesn't support that.
Alexa, turn on ball valve 2. Seems to work. Alexa, turn off ball valve 2.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, turn off ball valve 2. Nice. Next step is soldering. Stand by. So I decided I needed to kind of narrate this without the sounds and everything of the torch. If you're going to solder something like this, you got to remember that the valve is a heat sink and it sucks a lot of heat away. So you kind of got to start by warming up and heating up everything, concentrating on the body of that ball valve. As you watch, you can see some of the flux boiling out. If you're paying attention, you can also see it changing color just slightly right about now. If you look at it, it's not quite as bright. And you see me touching that solder right at the edge on the right side of the screen right there. What I'm trying to do is find out if the solder is going to melt only by touching the metal, not because it gets hit. There it goes. See that? Oh, and then it goes. And it goes. It just sucks right into the joint. So now I'm going to start working on the other side. And there's a couple of rules of soldering. First is, if you're asking yourself if it's clean enough, go back and clean it again. It has to be absolutely pristinely clean with no tarnish. And then, see, there I am. I'm seeing if the metal is hot enough to melt the solder just by touching it. And there it goes. Look at that. Now it pulls all in. And that's how it's done. Okay, so in closing on this, I got to counsel people. When you get that brass and copper just hot enough to melt solder, any hotter and it will screw up. So don't get it too hot. Alexa, turn on avocado. Alexa, turn off avocado. Sweet.